Hello, my name is Jay Pooley, and I'd like to welcome you to the Daniels Remote Experience. Since this past spring, we've been working hard to adapt to this historically defining moment. As designers, artists, architects, landscape architects, and foresters, we're used to adapting to new and unusual conditions. Design by nature is never straightforward. It takes a desire to explore the unknown, to dive into the future, and to step out of your comfort zone. I'm proud to say that at Daniels, we're excited to take on this challenge. I've been teaching in the undergraduate faculty here at Daniels for almost 10 years. I've had the opportunity to watch students from every corner of the globe learn, develop, and take big steps forward into diverse careers in graduate education. It's my hope to continue working with as many students as possible, especially in these challenging times. This year, we're continuing to develop a number of new programs aimed at not just adapting to this new world, but learning from it and excelling through it. Starting with the Daniels Minecraft Camp for students aged 8 to 14, this week-long session allows young designers to explore the built environment, using the popular platform Minecraft as an underpinning for the design of the environment. With a focus on sustainability, this successful summer program has reached students in fields including architecture and landscape architecture. Next, we have the Daniels Digital Design Camp. Designed for students aged 12 to 14, this camp focuses on solving real-world problems from a design-build platform. Students have the opportunity to work with a real client, being the Kensington Market Business Improvement Area. Using drawing and modeling as a platform over a one-week period, students develop buildable digital interventions for the Kensington Market community. Students meet and present their work to the BIA over the course of the program. And it's our goal to one day see some of these projects realized. Finally, we have our Daniels boot camps. These 4-week programs introduce students who are in their last years of high school to the experience of studying architecture at a university level. Students are asked to observe their environments and transform these observations into architectural designs, which are proposed and developed within a studio experience. Along with the design work, students also meet with our registrar's office to help prepare them for potential application to the Daniels faculty. Students work with our team to develop their portfolios and applications through high-level and focused design projects. While many of our efforts are relatively new instructional platforms, the goal is to use this time to make us stronger and more fluid in our programs, our outreach, and our approach to teaching. We believe that design plays a critical role in the development and sustainability of our cities, towns, and communities. It's through these programs that we hope to create a greater awareness and excitement around the design of the built environment. Thank you.
My name is Aiden Cowling. I'm the program coordinator here at the Daniels faculty, and I'm joined by Paolo de Guzman from esports. Hey. So we are super thrilled to be partnering with esports this year on this camp. They brought some amazing ideas and skills to this whole program, and we couldn't have done it without you guys. They've also created some incredible games and some incredible biomes for campers. So we've got some really exciting things for you. So this is going to be really fun because this whole Minecraft camp is about creating this whole world where kids can use Minecraft to learn about architecture and design.
Maybe let's just start with you, Doris. What do you think is the best thing about the Daniels Minecraft camp?
I think the best thing is not only the kids can learn a lot of things about architecture in the camp. As a leader, I can also learn a lot of things from the kids.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you. What about you, Jen? Can you tell us one of the perks of the Daniels Minecraft camp?
I definitely think that it's a camp that allows the kids to explore their creativity. They're able to not only create their builds, but change it into a game as one of the activities that we do here. So it's definitely really neat.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Coco, what about you? What do you think?
I think the activities we do in the camp really help with developing teamwork and leadership.
Amazing. I agree. I can already see the kids getting closer in their teams and showing their leadership qualities. Seben, what
Uh,
is the best part of the Minecraft camp for you?
I think it's about the kids, especially the kids who are more introverts on the real side, getting online with other people, other strangers, and actually talking to them in their actual states without being so shy.
Yeah, I love that. You see, we can really see all the kids sort of socializing together. Paolo, what about you?
I like how camp is a really big social experience for the kids, how the kids are able to kind of talk and collaborate on really huge builds and projects together, and they allow their ideas to kind of mesh into this one awesome big group thing.
Awesome, awesome. Sarah, what do you think is the best part about the Minecraft camp?
Um, I'd say mainly probably more specific to the summer, but with quarantine and everything, they don't really get a chance to go out, socialize, get any type of physical activity. And this isn't physical activity by any means, but it's definitely something that they would normally be doing in the summer, like playing outside with their friends, running around, like even screaming and just having fun.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Sarah. Perry, what do you think is the best part about the Minecraft camp?
I think the best part for Minecraft Camp is that it's a space to be inclusive and also super creative. I know for me personally, it was a chance to kind of go full circle because, you know, architecture, for me pursuing architecture, it all started with Minecraft. So it's kind of cool to be able to, you know, give back to the kids and try to, you know, teach them different things, hopefully inspire them to pursue creative journeys as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Perry. And Jason, last but not least, to you, what is the best part about the Minecraft camp for you?
We do. Oh, okay. I like how especially now considering like the whole self quarantining thing, it lets kids like still interact with each other and also like you can, I don't know, you can like learn stuff while also doing something you like, playing video games. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love that. Well, thank you.
So when we decided to build this Minecraft world, we wanted a cool bit about Minecraft is that there are various different biomes, naturally occurring biomes such as deserts and mountains and jungles and things like that. And one common aspect of architecture is kind of building around the environment that you're placed in. So we thought it'd be very interesting to create a world with various exaggerated biomes so kids have a really awesome playground or a really awesome kind of, you know, blank tablet to work with and to build with. So this is a little kind of overview of the map we've built. We'll actually take you into the world, but just to show you, we have this giant island segmented into various different biomes. So the little world we're in right now is acting as our spawn area. So this is where the kids will kind of enter when they first join the camp. You'll leave the dome. This is a giant dome. You'll leave the dome to the sides here, and you'll see that it's kind of flanked. This giant island is flanked by several mini islands. Now, this kind of ties into our idea of biomes because each one of these little islands has its own little theme and little architecture build going on with it. For instance, we have a little kind of modern desert or a little modern lake, kind of lakeside house here. Now, this little island will teleport you to the area in the world which corresponds to the lake world. So, for instance, here is a little snowy area with a cabin. Now, hopping onto this island will take you to the snowy area. This is the desert island that Aiden showed you before. So why don't we hop into this? So for instance, if you're a kid in the camp and you were inspired by some build and you wanted to, for instance, build in the desert world, you would come to this little island and you would enter the portal, which is right here. Every single one of these islands has a little portal, and entering it will take you to the main world. So now you'll see that we are kind of in the main world, which is right here. As you can see, we're in a giant desert. Now, we didn't want the kids to kind of spawn in an empty area. We didn't want them to just spawn into a desert and say, hey, start building desert things. We wanted them to be inspired by various builds and kind of give them an idea of what structures may be appropriate in various environments, which kind of lends itself to the teaching aspect of this camp. For instance, we tried to build some desert themed buildings which would make sense in a desert. For instance, pyramids and a sphinx. There's a little sand temple here, which you initially spawn in. But as you can see, there's still a lot of open world around it, which serves as an area for the kids to build in.
I wanted to rewind for all the parents who may be like me and not actually a gamer. So if you're new to Minecraft and you're not sure exactly what Minecraft is or does, it's really like a digital Lego. So it all starts with a block. And so this is the powerful thing about this tool is that like Lego, you can build anything and creativity is endless.
Hello everyone, my name is Kian Hosseini. I just graduated from Daniels faculty, and this summer I taught the Daniels Digital Design Camp with Hamid and Randa. This camp was a design build camp. It was initially conceived as a design build camp, but because of the online experience, we had to tweak that concept a little bit. We still did the same kind of design build mentality. However, we didn't have the build part. So we designed with the anticipation to build one day, but not necessarily to build it for sure. So the kids were designing based on that in mind. So in this camp, we worked with KMBIA, or Kensington Market Business Improvement Area. They gave us 4 projects to think about, and we presented those projects to the kids and let them go into their groups and then work on those projects separately. So the objective was to really work for and with the people in Kensington. So we actually met with them constantly. They gave us feedback, and we took those feedbacks into account when we were designing our project. So it was a very close relationship that we cultivated in this camp. I had a great experience teaching in this camp. Although it was an online experience, it didn't matter because I like teaching in general, and working with kids is a very different thing. We did some amazing projects. They came up with some amazing ideas, and it was a pleasure to be able to guide them in the process of designing, something that I'm really passionate about. When we first transitioned to online learning in March, I was already doing some TA work at the time. So I had to experience some of that shift in the initial sense. And that was a little bit difficult because we weren't prepared for the online experience. We adapted to it, but it wasn't meant to be that way. However, this camp was designed to be delivered online. We did an entire program every day of the week, and everything went really well, in my opinion, because we actually anticipated the online format, and we came up with strategies to address specific problems that kids might come up with in the online environment. So because the camp was designed for the online experience, it was actually a really good experience, in my opinion. I think overall, the kids adapted really well to the online experience. We have to keep in mind that this generation is digital native, and it's very easy for them to be able to work in such an environment. We might have not expected that, but because they're already very comfortable in working in this environment in other senses, they adapted very quickly in doing a whole program online. And I think overall, they were pretty comfortable with the screen sharing and all that little details that came with the online experience. So I would say they were pretty quick to adapt and had a good experience. We saw a lot of great work in this camp, and it was amazing to see how kids would learn and adapt to new programs really fast. For instance, on the first day, we taught them Photoshop. And by the end of the day, they were comfortable enough to do an entire exercise in Photoshop. And that was just amazing to see. And a lot of the kids were using programs that were unfamiliar to myself and the other leaders as well. For instance, we were introduced to Blender because one of the kids was really into that program, and we learned from them as much as they learned from us about the other programs. So this was the kind of interesting experiences that came about through this experience, where we both learned new things from the kids, but they also adapted really quickly and were able to produce amazing work from the things we taught them. So the online environment has a lot of pros and a lot of cons. Let's start with the pros. For instance, software tutorials were much more easily done through the online format because we were able to share screens, address problems as they came up on the students' computers without having to go around too much. Everyone was available at the moment, and we could see everyone's progress at a specific time. Another really cool thing about the online environment was there were less distractions, for instance. Kids were able to maybe mute, turn off their headsets, work for a bit, come back. So they had some agency over how they wanted to work rather than being too much constrained by the structure of the larger program. However, maybe we can think about how this can be thought of as a con as well, because a camp experience is not just about learning, it's also about having those social relationships. So it's not just about learning new things, but also meeting new people. I think the online version, while being online and hard in that sense, it provided enough opportunities for kids to at least engage in some one-on-one experiences and also some social interactions. So maybe it wasn't as much as it would have been if it was a physical camp, but I think we were able to provide some of that experience in the digital realm. So the pros and cons, kind of, some of those are also pros, some of them are cons, but I think overall it was a positive experience. I think about how this online experience is limiting a lot of things that we could do in real life. However, we forget to think about how we can learn a lot of skills just by working in this online environment. I myself was never used to working purely online, and I think we learned a lot about how we can interact with each other, work as a team, and all that in a very virtual atmosphere. And I think that's a positive thing that came out of this camp and a lot of programs in a similar fashion.
Hi, my name is Avi Odenheimer. I have a bachelor's degree from the Bezalel Academy of Art and Design, Jerusalem. I just finished my master's degree in architecture here at Daniels. This year I'll be running the Daniels Summer Bootcamp. So what our camp is doing is we're exposing young students who are interested in a career in design and architecture. We're exposing them to the ideas of architecture and design, and we are trying to create an environment that might give them a better idea and understanding of what they're getting themselves into in the future. And we're using guest talks. We have tutorials. We're actually learning software, and we also have two main studio-like projects that are very similar to the projects that they will be encountering during architectural studies. And our program is built around those two main studio projects. I guess I'll say that I love teaching this. I think that this is the best time to teach students. Many of the students have no prior experience in learning design, and so they really come with an open mind to this course. Obviously, it's been a bit of a challenge because it's Zoom based or online based as opposed to in a classroom, and so we had to sort of learn how to adapt to this new situation and figure out how it works best and what maybe does not work in an online setting. But overall, it's been a really great experience. It was the first big long form course that I've done online. Before that, I have done a few guest lectures at some of the programs that had gone online in March. So I talked about my thesis a few times, but this is really my first experience of online teaching. So the students are pretty amazing. They're a lot more. I don't know what the right word would be for that. The students are a lot more curious than I was at their age, and that's really impressive to see. I think this is a self-selecting group of students who are interested in giving away their summer to learn about architecture and to do some actually pretty intense projects in their free time. And so it's really the best students to get. And we've had such a great time with them. Yeah, having this be their first design experience is something that I don't take lightly. I think that it's a huge opportunity for them, and it's something that I'm very careful to be aware of. I think the most successful part of both of our sessions is the guest talks, and so we had some pretty amazing guest speakers, teachers from our school. I think the guest talks are important mainly because for people who are stuck at home during the lockdown and during the quarantine, it's these guest talks and these virtual tours are sort of a moment of breaking the routine, and so that was really helpful. And I think that was the highlights of both of our sessions is the virtual tours. Yeah, so in terms of teaching, this is an extremely challenging job as a teacher. For one thing, I can't control I have no control over the students. They could always shut off their Zoom, turn off their camera, and walk away. And so, and that's certainly the case. I think for students, it requires a huge amount of self-discipline not to minimize the screen and start playing computer games. And unfortunately, I find that that does happen. I find myself repeating things that I said far more than when I'm teaching in person and the students are stuck in front of you. And so that's certainly a phenomenon of this online learning. And another challenge is just that there's not really a test at the end of this. This purely hinges on the student's own interest. And so I find myself needing to be a lot more interesting than I need to be when I'm teaching at school at a regular course because the students always have that option of just turning the Zoom off and not doing the work or the projects. Certainly there's a lot of pros of online and they should not be overlooked. For one thing, we've been able to incorporate students from all around the world, and that's been hugely beneficial to our project. They each brought sort of a piece of their area or their physical space, and so we got introduced to Istanbul through the images that the students brought and through their experiences and their projects, and we also got to see Taipei. And we had students from Hong Kong and of course from all across Canada. And I think that's hugely beneficial, is that the students aren't limited to ones that could reach Canada and be here physically. Also, there's some online tools that we've been using, like Miro, which has been hugely successful and something that I would incorporate into not only online learning, but also physical learning. Whenever we get back to the school, I'd love to incorporate those tools back into the toolkit of a teacher. And also learning software is not that, learning software online is actually a little bit beneficial because the students don't have to look at a big screen. They could actually see what I'm doing on their screen right up close to them. And so in a way, it's like all the students have a front row seat in class. And so that's been pretty successful. Obviously, there's another con is all the technical issues. And so sometimes computers don't work, sometimes Zoom cuts out, sometimes voices come over garbled. And that's something that we certainly have, that has been a challenge that we've needed to overcome. Yeah, so obviously the school was a huge help in setting this program up. They provided pretty quickly all the tools we needed, all the technical tools, and they even created a web page especially for teachers to learn how to use the online tools, and that certainly was a huge benefit to us. And also we're working through the Zoom system that the school set up, which has been pretty amazing. So I think the school did a pretty good job of helping me set up. There was a lot of work required on our part. Marianka and I needed to sort of adapt our curriculum to the online learning. A lot of things that worked in person would not work online. And so after the first week of teaching, we sort of looked at our future schedule and reevaluated that schedule based on what we learned, and we were able to shift things around and change the curriculum slightly to be better adapted for online platforms. I would say that this course is extremely beneficial to anybody that's interested in architecture or learning design. I certainly wish that I had something like this before going into architecture. We try in our boot camp not only to prepare students, of course, for getting accepted, but we've put a huge emphasis on getting students prepared for a future career in architecture. And having students that are so young and so much at the beginning of their journey, I think it's very important to look ahead and plan ahead for the future of a career in design. And so a lot of what we talk about is how studying design and how practicing design is different from everything that they've done up until now in school. And there's certainly many differences. And when a student comes well prepared and starts school well prepared, I think you can notice a huge difference in the outcome and how they're able to utilize what they learn at school.
Hi, my name is Nini Brody, and I'm the Manager External Relations and Outreach here at the Daniels faculty. When COVID closed down our facilities and ended all of our programming, we realized we had a very difficult decision to make. We either canceled all of the rest of our programming, or we had to adapt to this new normal of being online. We felt strongly that families really needed this kind of programming that only our school could offer in design. So we didn't hesitate, and we launched into this new frontier of online outreach programming. Luckily, our faculty had already forged the way through their experience of closing out the winter term online. For our faculty, who is known for in-person critiques and physical model making, this was a very different world. We committed to developing our online summer outreach programming to still be a full-day program, which is unique across the university. Using tools like you've seen in this video of Zoom, the Creative Cloud, and Miro, an online whiteboard, we have been successfully teaching youth from ages 8 to 18 how to design. The response has been overwhelmingly positive, from parents telling us our programs were the highlight of their child's summer, to parents who had told us it's the first time since the pandemic that they have seen their child laughing and playing with other students. I'd like to share this note we recently received. Thank you all for creating such a wonderful experience for Uma this week. This was such a well-run camp, and Uma learned so much all week. The world of design is very new to her. It was great for her to get a better sense of the design process, receive feedback, and think about how to create a solution for a real-world problem. She's heading into the 8th grade for this school year. Her school has a year-long project for which she's supposed to receive mentorship, and she's planning to pursue a design project for that. This has provided her with a really great foundation. As our camps come to a close, we will share with our faculty our experiences in teaching online and prepare to offer our programs online in the fall as well. This is an unusual Daniels experience, but we hope this gives you a better understanding of how Daniels has adapted to the new normal.